Hey kids, Dad here. It is Sunday, June 28th, 2026. And it's been a wonderful weekend. You know, it's funny. I every day when I wake up, as part of my morning prayers, I ask God to surprise me. And I pray to him and asked to let me help just one person today. And he has a funny way of delivering on that prayer request. Yesterday, my intention was to go up to the Pride Festival in Minneapolis, but God had other plans. And I ended up getting a really nice run yesterday. Ended up dealing with some house business here at Bravo Zulu. And the funny thing is that used to really stress me out and frustrate me. When I had to deal with resident issues, it would throw off my plans, right? Because my plan was to go see a friend up at the Pride Festival, give a bunch of hugs, have some fun. And God's plan was for me to help some people who are struggling. And what that ended up being yesterday was talking through some things with a guy who had some very, very difficult experiences. And he needed both a priest and a lawyer and somebody who knew some things about sobriety. And I was able to connect him with somebody who is kind of all three of those things at the same time. So we'll see how that works out for him. I hope it works out well for this guy. He's the real deal. He's a tier one guy who did a lot in the early 20 teens. And yeah, so I'm praying for him. Then I got to spend the day listening to some of my good friends. I had to share a message with a meeting last night of people in recovery, and I just spoke from my heart. And to be honest, kids, I kind of cussed some people out. I called out some bad behaviors that I see in the program and why people fail, why some people get it and some people don't. And I really kind of directed my share at those people who don't seem to be getting it. That was different for me. It wasn't a warm, fuzzy, here's your hug, thanks for showing up, way to go, I'm so proud of you. It was more of a, most of you are going to be dead in a couple of years, and here's why. Because you're not following these simple steps. And heck, that's their choice. But it wouldn't have been very kind to just sit and tell them, oh, you're so wonderful. When the facts are, they're not doing the work that it takes to turn their life around. So it's kind of some hard truths. Then this morning, normally a worship day for me, right? Sunday morning, normally I do some church. And I didn't. I did my morning support group, did my morning prayers, but I had an opportunity to go do some volunteer work at the Fairmont Airport. Yes, Fairmont has an airport, believe it or not. Little tiny airport. But I went down there. They had a big breakfast fundraiser for a group called the Lions Club. The Lions Club, they do a lot of help people get hearing aids, help people get eyeglasses, do a lot. They're kind of like a fraternity in a way, but really good organization. They had this big breakfast fundraiser in an airport hangar. And I was able to help pick up chairs, break down tables, pick up dishes for people. I spent a couple hours doing that. But along the way, one of the coolest things happened. One of the residents here at Bravo Zulu, he came down with me. It's about 20 minutes away, and he said, heck yeah, I'd love to go. So I told the guys in the house, I'm like, yeah, we got this opportunity to go down to the airport tomorrow. If anyone wants to come, I'm going to go. There's one guy here at the house. He said, yeah, I want to come. And he came down, and this is a guy who 3 months ago, kids, he came into this house, and he looked like a dead man walking. He was probably months away from death. If he'd have started picking up drugs again, alcohol again, he'd have probably been dead within a year. Came in looking like a zombie, no life in his eyes. And I got to see him get a plane ride. He got in an airplane, a little tiny single engine, little Cessna, could fit 4 people packed in it like little sardines. Got to climb in the back of that thing. The pilot took him up, flew him around for about 15 minutes, brought him back down. I got to see him just smiling ear to ear. I got to see joy, a sparkle in his eyes. And it was such a wonderful reminder for me of what I'm doing down here. You know, as much as I'd love to be up there with you kids on a day like today, go to the pool, spend some time together, go have an adventure, go for a hike, whatever it may be. Spend some time doing some church or some worship with you. God seems to have a different plan right now for me and for us. And part of that, the joy I get with that, as much as it breaks my heart not being close to you kids, not being able to see you kids, I do get the joy of seeing a guy who was a machine gunner in the Marines. He was in Fallujah twice. Kavanaugh, look up Fallujah. 03, 05, Fallujah. Some serious stuff 1st Marine Division went through there. Some of the biggest firefights of the whole Iraq war. And he was right there front and center. And he spent 20 years since wrestling with those demons from that. But I got to see him smiling ear to ear, riding this plane with a little 8-year-old kid. And I couldn't tell you which one was more excited and happier. This 43-year-old former Marine or this 8-year-old kid, because they were both just so full of joy. And I get front row tickets to seeing stuff like that happen down here. So today, I'm grateful for God surprising me. Not giving me what I ask for, the way I ask for it, not giving me my plan, but showing me these little glimpses of his plan, which is much bigger than any of us. And I get to have front row seats to be a part of that. And it's pretty darn cool. So I love you kids. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I hope you get a chance to see a little glimmer of God in something today. We'll talk soon.